Welcome to the BEASTwriter family where social media engagement is encouraged. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and tonight we are going to be discussing my earlier podcast as it pertains to whether you should resign Kyle Juszczyk and Jason Verrett as opposed to just signing one player in All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams. So there's been a lot of debate about this. I put up a podcast. People have been chiming in, asking me questions on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and hit this one live and just discuss about this, the pros and cons of making this deal and exactly what it would cost. What's the instant gratification versus long-term gains? When you look at it from a GM's perspective, you really got to take into account how many years are we really putting on to Trent Williams' contract, number one. Number two, are we going to be able to entertain a bidding war? Because as Greg Rosenthal from NFL.com pointed out, he believes that Trent Williams is going to reset the market, especially in the 2021 draft class, free agent class, which means what? The 49ers are going to have to pay a lot of money. And are they able to do that? As the salary cap currently stands, I would say no, right? I think that's obvious. So again, the pros and cons of re-signing an all-pro blindside left tackle who wants to get paid in what would be his last contract ever because he's 33 years old. How many years left? And realistically, are the 49ers really Super Bowl contenders right now the way the offensive line is set up? So in my opinion, I said they're in rebuild mode right now, simply because that's not throwing shade. It is what it is. Games are won down in the trenches. And when you look at the offensive line, you cannot tell me that offensive line can hold up going against these other teams who are doing everything they can to solidify the defensive line. J.J. Watt from the Arizona Cardinals is now in the NFC West. So you see these power play moves that the NFC West is making. Ultimately, it comes down to what the 49ers are going to do with their own free agents, right? I always talk about Fred Warner, but let's go ahead and talk about some of your questions that you had. I'm really tired right now. Just wrapped up my workout. My shoulders were on fire, so I'm getting some questions regarding fitness. I'll go ahead and tie that into this live stream because, as you know, I'm all about fitness grind. I'm all about football. That's what the BEASTwriter family is all about, just raising each other's game, whether it's on the field, off the field, in your health. All in all, it's all fun and games, man. So let's get started. I'm going to start it off with YouTube. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to toggle between all the social media outlets as I get to your questions. I am really tired. I hit like a 2.5 hour workout. 2.5 hour workout. Did a lot of supersets. So I'm beat, if you can't tell. But this is what it's all about. Hustle and grind. Do it every darn day. All right. So Kevin Down asked on Twitter, who also follows me on YouTube. He said, a couple of questions, if I may. Do you like workouts without music? Also, my head sweats a lot when I work out. I couldn't wear a knit cap to work out. Do you have something under the cap to absorb sweat? No, I do not. Do I like working out without music? No, because music helps get me in the mode, gets me amped up. Just like players, during pregame warmups, they get amped up with music. So do I. I need music because my hours are usually 3-4 hours, sometimes 6 hours at a time. You guys know this. You watch my Instagram stories. So you guys know what I bring to the table. I'm all gas, no break. And yeah, it's really crazy. But no, I cannot work out without music. That's just not happening with the BEASTwriter. I cannot do that. That's like a no. Although I did have to do it yesterday because I work out for so long. My headphones die out. Don't recharge it, and that's what happened yesterday. So ironically, or by coincidentally, I should say, I worked out yesterday with no headphones. It was disastrous. I hated it because without your headphones in, you can't ignore people. Not like saying I like ignoring people, but people always, not always come up, but they'll come up to me and be like, oh man, like, what do you do for this? And I don't get my own workout in. So I really, headphones is kind of one of those things where you kind of stay incognito sometimes. But yeah. So yeah, I like music, to get to your question. But yeah, so I'm really tired. If you can't tell, again, I'm beat. All right, Jack Hammer says, are you using this as a warm-up or is it part of your shoulder workout? So if you don't follow me on Twitter, that's okay. I'll repost it on YouTube. Basically, I did a shoulder workout and It depends on what my coach wants, right? So you guys know I compete in the NPC world going for my pro card, and I have BB Pro ready. So as I get my gym gains in, it all depends on what my coach wants. Usually I try to hit this workout, which I call the 6-point star, after my workout as a burnout, simply because it's an easier workout to perform without jeopardizing the form. However, sometimes I'll incorporate it in the early stages of my workout, depending on what body parts I am hitting. All right, let's move on to, let's see the questions. We got some questions here. Gosh, I am so tired. I'm doing this all for you guys. I love it. It's my passion. The BEASTwriter family keeps me going strong. But I am tired. Look at this. Your boy is tired. I'm going crazy right now. All right, anyways. All right. So here we go. Mariah, what is up? Mariah is one of my loyal followers on YouTube and Twitter, but mostly YouTube now. She knows that I'm all about the YouTube community and what we bring here in the BEASTwriter family. It's all good vibes only. Okay. Let's get going, and we will kickstart our questions. But yeah, what do you guys think about the whole Trent Williams thing? I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? Like, he's going to help reset the market. And if Greg Rosenthal is correct in that he's going to be the highest paid free agent in the 2021 free agent class, Trent Williams, Silverback, is bye-bye. See you later, man, because I don't see him coming back. And again, at age 33, when the new league year begins, he's going to be lining up at left tackle, and you're forking out all this money. Well, the Niners are not 1 or 2 players away like they were back in 2019 when they got Emmanuel Sanders as a half-year rental. Now you get Trent Williams as a 1-year rental, and you mortgage the future again by giving up a 3rd-round pick. So I said this all earlier in my YouTube receipts. This was going to play out, and people are like, no, they're going to resign him. I'm like, okay, we're going to find out. Time will tell, but my gut feeling is they're not going to resign Trent Williams. They're not going to resign Trent Williams. And now watch me be wrong and be like, oh, man, you were wrong, BEASTwriter. Wow, you were so wrong on that. Well, we'll see. My gut feeling is they're not going to resign Trent Williams unless he takes a hometown discount. The soft spot, as I said in my earlier podcast, based on the comparables, based on Nate Solder's contract with the New York Giants, and then you take what Ronnie Stanley's getting, $19.7 million, and then you compound that with some of the other guys underneath him that he's better than, like Taylor Lewan from the Tennessee Titans, Garrett Bowles from the Denver Broncos. They're getting $17 and $16 million respectively. However, Trent Williams is better than them. And he's also better than Nate Solder, who's getting 15.5 with the New York Giants. So the sweet spot for me is $18 million. How do I remember this? I don't know. Maybe because I talk about this all the time. Maybe because I'm tired at the gym thinking about it. What am I going to talk about? What angle am I going to talk about? But if you guys follow me, you guys know what I'm saying on YouTube. You guys understand how important Trent Williams is, protecting the blind side, because games are won down in the trenches. You build teams from the inside out. But at the end of the day, what's the asking price? What is it going to cost? And is it worth it financially as the long-term game? That's what we have to ask ourselves, right? And again, we really don't know what's going on. I would rather roll with Jason Verrett and Kyle Juszczyk, as I pointed out in my earlier podcast today. Got a lot of good feedback. If you don't follow me on YouTube, I strongly consider you join the BEASTwriter family. Open a YouTube account, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so you get notified when we go live and when we upload content. And when I say we, because we are a family here, it's ridiculous how many great people are in the BEASTwriter family. Like, they leave comments, and it's not just all Niner fans. I have Bears fans, I have Panthers fans, I have Green Bay Packers fans. What else did I? Bengals fans. I pick up Bengals fans. So all 32 fan bases are coming together as one. And no matter what team you root for, everybody is really on point with their analysis. I'm not joking. Go read the comments. It's really, really fun to watch what's going on in the BEASTwriter family. We have a good thing going here. So that's all I got to say about that. But do yourself a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Open your YouTube account and follow your boy. All right. Alan, how you doing, Alan? Alan from Twitter. How you doing, buddy? Hope all is well. My boy Alex Faulkner. Love this guy. Brings great analysis to the YouTube community and the BEASTwriter family. He says, cut, trade Jimmy, and all our problems are solved. Oh my goodness. I don't know if all the problems are solved if you cut Jimmy. Yes, if you cut Jimmy, you would save $23.6 million off the cap. And yes, it would be a good idea to wipe your hands clean of Jimmy Garoppolo, not because I don't think he can get it done, but I just think he's put in a bad position to where mentally, from the shoulders up, it's hard for him to have success when all these rumors are replaying in his head. Like, how can you expect him to have success when the coaching staff and the management don't really want you, bro? Like, they don't want you, but they say they want you, but they really don't want you, bro. Like, they really don't. And that's why you see Todd McShay. That's why you see Mel Kiper. That's why you see all these draft gurus who do a really good job put out these mock drafts. Oh, they're going to go after Mac Jones. Oh, they're going to go after this quarterback. Oh, they're going. If you bring in a quarterback as your first round pick, Jimmy Garoppolo, what are you doing? I would say right now, man, like you're on the outside looking in, because at the end of the day, one interception, one ill-advised throw. If you don't live to play another down, if you don't scan the field on your hot read, just looking at George Kittle down the seam, when the other side of the field is open, Shanahan gonna pull you, bro. He's gonna be like, all right, you out, bro. We're going with Mac Jones. We're going with Trey Lance. Obviously, not going. I don't know if they're going with Trey Lance, but they're going to go after somebody, right? Oh, Josh Rosen. All right, that is enough. Let's put in Josh Rosen. I'm not saying it's fair because it's really unfair, but how can you expect Jimmy Garoppolo to succeed when the situation that he has been placed over and over again for 2 straight off seasons after helping the team reach the Super Bowl in 2019? Put yourself in Jimmy Garoppolo's shoes for a second. Iron sharpens iron, but when you have a coaching staff and management that really don't want you, what does that say about you? What's the confidence level at? It has to take a toll on you. And I don't care what anyone says, because if you actually look at it from Jimmy Garoppolo's perspective, you would know what I'm talking about. You would be empathetic and be like, hey, BEASTwriter's right. He has a point. Just saying. All right, let's move on. Fortnite's Ultimate Report. What is up, buddy? I see you. And yeah. So Alan, thank you so much for the love. Alan from Twitter. Dan Ayers, let's go ahead and move on to the comments. He says, get Trent Williams. He wants Trent Williams. Dan, thank you for tuning in from Facebook. I don't know which Facebook page this is on. Probably mine, NinerFans.com. But getting back to you, Trent Williams. Again, I am a firm believer in building teams for the inside out, not the outside in. Why? You solidify the line, makes the quarterback play look better, makes the running backs look better, makes the wide receivers' job a lot easier getting open because now they have more time to go ahead and gain separation coming off their stem. So it has a domino effect. However, with that being said, financially doesn't make sense, because if you have to entertain a bidding war where you're paying more than $18 million, $21 million, he's not going to surpass David Bakhtiari, who I believe is getting $23 million by the Green Bay Packers annual per year. So he's not going to get that money. He's not going to get Ronnie Stanley left tackle money for the Baltimore Ravens, who's at $19.7 million a year. He's not going to get that. But what he can get, the sweet zone or the soft spot, is $18 million. Anything above that, I think you're playing fool's gold, man. I think you have to wipe your hands clean and go in a different direction. Why? Because, again, you have to look at it from a financial standpoint and where the 49ers are currently. If they were a Super Bowl contender and he was the 1 or 2 missing pieces like Deion Sanders was back in 1994 on the defensive side of the ball, then maybe you take a play. But the Niners are not 1 or 2 players away. Tell me that the Niners are Super Bowl contenders right now, the way their offensive line is. Please tell me that. If you guys can argue that to me in the comments and tell me why, let's have a debate. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying that's my opinion, bro. That is my opinion. What's up, 704 Bounce Charlotte from YouTube? Again, I have a lot of Panthers fans on my podcast. They always show me love, and I love Panthers fans. We had a discussion about this yesterday on YouTube, how Panthers fans are so nice. Like, I remember on my birthday in a preseason game, I was talking to 704 Bound Charlotte, and I said, the one thing that stands out is ever since I was a kid, I believe it was 1995, right? I don't know. I think it was 1995 that they were an expansion team in the NFC West. Yes, they played in the NFC West before the NFC South, along with the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints and the LA Rams. But getting back to 1995, I remember, if I remember correctly, the fan base is so nice, and they've been that way ever since. Like, I don't know what it is with the fans. I don't know what's in the water, but you guys are really nice, like really supportive. Doesn't matter if you're winning by a lot or losing by a lot. I love Carolina Panthers fans. Keep pounding, Carolina Panthers fans. BEASTwriter approved. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on. Rolando, would you trade for Orlando Brown Jr. if you don't sign Trent Williams? No, I did not. I would not. I already wrote that in an earlier podcast. Again, if you're just catching up on my podcast playlist, I include that at the end of every podcast episode. You'll see a podcast playlist where you can kind of go back, see what I had to say, check my YouTube receipts in real time, and you will know that, or you would know what I'm talking about. Now, getting back to Orlando Brown Jr., why would he not be a good fit? Well, he's more for a power run based scheme. I don't think he's really good and really fit for that zone blocking scheme. So although you would get him on a rookie deal, because obviously he's still on that rookie contract and he is a Pro Bowl blindside left tackle, he doesn't fit the scheme. So when you look at a certain player on a certain team, and yeah, he may have success, put him in a similar scheme, or a different scheme, I should say, would he have the same success? I'm not so sure, and I would say no. So I would say pass on Orlando Brown Jr., get someone who really fits the scheme, and move forward that way. All right. And if you want Rolando, I can go ahead and post that earlier podcast for you up on Twitter, although I'm not on Twitter much. I'm more on YouTube. As you know why. YouTube is the way to go. All right. I think the 49ers are one quarterback away, Beast. Urban, thank you for tuning in from YouTube. I would disagree, man. Like, we agree to disagree. I mean, I love your input. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying we're having a healthy discussion here. I don't think so. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say you had Deshaun Watson back there. Would he make the O-line play better simply by having Deshaun Watson better back there? Would he make the offensive line better? No. Why? Because games are won down in the trenches. The offensive line is the one that makes the quarterback look better, not the other way around. You think if Steve Young was the quarterback, like in his prime back in 1994, you think he would be successful with this offensive line that the 49ers have? I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, if you have a varying opinion on that, that's fine. That's what this is all about. But yeah, I don't think so. Let's go on and continue our discussion. A lot of questions here. They're rolling through. Let me just go ahead and see some stuff. Thank you so much. The Illuminati from YouTube says the realest sports writer in the business. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. On a Saturday, this is what I'm doing? Really, bro? Don't you have a life? No, I don't have a life. This is my life. The BEASTwriter family is my life. This is what it's about. This is my passion, bro. All right, let's go. Jerry Yang. If you don't follow Jerry Yang, follow my boy Jerry Yang. He's on Mondays for Yang Mondays at 2:30 p.m. We now started a weekly segment. I'm all about them good vibes only. Jerry Yang brings that. Has a lot of good knowledge on the San Francisco 49ers. Also has a podcast called the MJ Sportscast. I told him and Mike Tang, who was on Thursday, to change their show to the Tang and Yang show. They have yet to do it. I don't know. I like the Tang and Yang show. You guys should start a poll and say, hey, should we start a Yang and Tang show? I don't know. I like the Yang and Tang. It rolls off the tongue better, and it's better for marketing purposes. I don't know. That's just me. All right, let's move on. How you doing? Niners all day, 55 from YouTube. There's a lot of good comments there. Again, the YouTube community, I love it because you can leave more than the characters allocated in Twitter, and you can actually have a healthy debate without feeling threatened by a troll coming in and swiping into the conversation as if he knows what he's talking about when he just entered it 3 to 5 conversations down the thread. I don't know. That's just my take. But Niners all day, the real deal. All right, Luis Padilla from Facebook. What up, bro? What up, Luis? How you doing, my man? Happy Saturday. I am super tired. Gosh, look at this. I have bags under my eyes, bro. All right, what's up with the Niners and drafting? Are they pursuing? And if so, who might be a good quarterback. Jimmy needs a backup or replacement. So I feel like they do. Absolutely, Luis. I actually put up earlier podcasts on that. Again, I have to figure out which Facebook page you're on right now, but I can figure it out once this live stream is over. But if not, follow my YouTube, bro. I'm telling you, it's all in there. I have a Jimmy Garoppolo timeline of events and how that would affect the team moving forward. So I will include that in my podcast playlist. But go ahead, open up a YouTube account, subscribe to my channel. You'll be lucky, or not lucky, you'll be happy you did. And lucky because we do giveaways. So we just hit 1,000 subscribers. Pretty happy about that. All right, Mariah, I need to slide into the DMs about a workout routine. Mariah, slide in my DMs. I got you covered, girl. From YouTube or Twitter, slide in my DMs. I got you covered. I'll be posting some workouts for you. Again, this is what it's all about. The BEASTwriter family is all about them good vibes only. And again, if you want to get your gains in, if you want to know some diet plans, you can do all the research you want on Google, but at the end of the day, does it really work for you? Are these cookie cutter diet programs? Are these yo-yo diets? Bro, I'm telling you, that's all out there, bro. You don't want that. So I can help you out with your gains. Mariah, I got you covered. Hit me up. I'll take care of you. All right, Jerry Yang asks from YouTube. Time to move on from Trent Williams. Oh my gosh, you should tweet that to Trent Williams. I'm just joking. Don't do that. Let's get a veteran center and a rookie left tackle that'll have a bigger impact than just Trent Williams alone. Verrett and Juice is more important. Yes. If you watched my earlier podcast, again, that's why this live stream is going on right now, because there's a lot of debate. Like, do you keep Trent Williams, one prized asset at a premium position, or would you rather kill two birds with one stone and go after Jason Verrett and Kyle Juszczyk, because the money compensation annually per year is about the same, 18 to 20 million with Trent Williams, and you get 20 million overall with Jason Verrett and Kyle Juszczyk. For me, if there were one or two players away, whoop, I would keep Trent Williams, but they're not 1, 2 players away, so let's bring them back, whoop, and throw out Trent Williams and keep those 2 players. All right, let's move on. Brian Chappelli from Facebook says, too old, would not pay big money. Yes, I agree with you. I think he is old, although he is younger than me. So watch what you're saying. No, I'm talking football age. Yes, he's old. People are asking how old I am. I am 37 years old. People are like, dude, you're like 25. Like, no, bro, I'm 37 years old. I don't know. I'm 37. You know what the key is? People say, what's the secret for you to looking so young? Let me tell you something. Stress is a real thing. Don't sweat the small stuff. This is some BEASTwriter family knowledge, I'm telling you, right? Don't stress the small stuff. Yeah. Don't stress the small stuff. Focus on yourself. Don't focus on anyone else or what anyone else is doing. Focus on you. If you focus on you, good things will happen. Because everyone in today's day, in the age of information, is trying to outdo the other person. And for what? At the end of the day, you lose focus of what? You. So that's why I say, don't worry about the small stuff. You know, anything that happens, like, okay, swipe left, bro. Swipe left, girl. See ya. Like this. Just like on a date, swipe left, bro. Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. And fitness plays a role. There's a reason why I look young. I believe fitness plays a role. There's a guy named Patrick, okay? I work out at Villa Sport in San Jose. This guy's like, I'm not kidding you. He's like 83 years old. The guy can keep up with me. I am not kidding you. And he looks so young for his age. And he told me the secret was getting in your gym gains. Getting in your gym games. So to me, that's inspiration, right? I may be inspiration to you in terms of getting your inspiration and fitness grind in, but hey, I have inspiration too. And he gives me that inspiration to keep moving forward. At his age, Patrick, he follows me on Twitter too. Patrick knows what's up. And now YouTube. He said he likes my YouTube more than he likes Twitter. All right, John Niner, again, from YouTube, one of my loyal followers. John, these great comments. Follow, subscribe this guy. He's awesome. He said, what a waste of draft picks for rental players only. Exactly. That's what I said in my earlier podcast, man. Like, you mortgage your future giving up third-round picks when you obviously didn't win the Super Bowl, so was it worth it? No, but okay. I guess it's a wash when it comes to Emmanuel Sanders. But Trent Williams, right when the trade was made, check the YouTube receipts, I said it was a bad deal because in my mind, and I had a gut feeling, Once the trade was made, I said, they're not going to resign Trent Williams. Watch. And I hope I'm right. No. Well, yeah, I hope I'm right because the Twitter receipts would be, oh, boom, another one. Bam. But we just have to see how it plays out. If Trent Williams does take a hometown discount to stay in San Francisco, and I just don't see that happening. I mean, why would his agent put in a no tag clause in his contract so that he can test free agent waters? If you're his agent, you're going to want the most money, dude. That's the business. You wouldn't be like, hey, Trent, why don't you just take $5 million less? As your agent, I'm telling you, take $5 million. What? No. I want $2.5 million. I want 2.5 of that cut so I can go on a Hawaii vacation. I'm just saying, I don't know. Hawaii, Paris, France, whatever. All right, let's move on. John says he probably wants $23 million a year or something crazy. Yes, he probably wants to reset the market. If you're the agent, this is what you always do. You always aim high because obviously if you don't aim high enough, then you're going to do yourself a disservice. Aim high, say $30 million. Now, obviously ask for the comparable. So David Bakhtiari gets $23 million a year. Ask for that. Come down a little bit. Meet in the middle. Maybe $21 million. Maybe 22.5. People are saying, oh, what team would get him? If you watch my podcast, GM Chris Ballard from the Indianapolis Colts, I have a podcast on that. That's where I think Trent Williams is headed, to join DeForest Buckner. And that way, the Colts steal 2 All-Pros in back-to-back seasons when it comes to getting the San Francisco 49ers pull. Just pull these players. I'm joking. Not really, though. All right. 49ers Ultimate Report. Trent Williams is a great offensive tackle, but NFL is a business. And I believe Trent wants to get paid. We will see what happens. 49ers Ultimate Report. You are absolutely right, from YouTube. Again, follow that guy. He's trying to build up his channel too. All about them good vibes only. This is what the BEASTwriter family is all about. All right. Mariah says, I agree, Jimmy got to go. Yeah, she is not a fan of Jimmy G. I tell you that. She is not a fan of Jimmy G. $27 million a year by Jimmy. Gosh, I hope Jimmy's not watching this. Not like he would watch my podcast. Oh, watch. Maybe he is. Okay. Niners all day. Do you think Fields would be a bust if the Niners get him? Ooh, that's a great question. I don't like Justin Fields. I think that he's a little bit overrated. Now watch me be wrong. No, I just feel coming out, his stock is a little bit higher than what I would view as a player that's supposed to be projected at that selection in the mock drafts. And of course, the mock drafts are based on what actually happened based on the team's needs. I get that. But you guys get what I'm talking about. Let's talk about the big board. I think his stock is a little too high. I worry about whether or not he can sustain a full 16-game schedule. He was banged up during the late part of last season. So that's a cause for concern. Anytime you're a GM and you want to look at the pros and cons, you really got to delve into not only the character issues, and obviously he comes from a good character standpoint, but I'm saying when you talk about all these players and all these coaches that you have to talk to and say, oh, do they check the boxes, right? Does he check off all the boxes? Well, for me, does he check off the injury box? I mean, that's a cause for concern. And the best availability is durability. And do the 49ers want to risk another injury-prone player who has high potential? I don't know. All right. Diego Medina Henriquez. How you doing, bro? He says, hi, bro, from Chile. Hey, from Chile. Okay. I see you, fam. Well, welcome from Chile. I don't know. What's the time zone over there, bro? Chime in, bro. It's 6:02 here on the West Coast. West side? No, joking. But what is the time zone in Chile? I don't know what the difference is. Never been to Chile, but heard great things. All right, Jason Wines. Need to draft Slater at 12. Ooh. I already said pass on Rashawn Slater at 12 out of Northwestern. I would rather the team draft Najee Harris in a trade down. I think he should be the smart play there. Ultimately, we don't know what's going to happen at the top of the draft. A lot of these quarterbacks are going to be pushed up the draft board, and we still don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, is going to get traded before the NFL season. That's my gut feeling. I don't think that GM Nick Caserio can afford holding out Deshaun Watson and not trade him as long as Deshaun Watson's open to waive his no trade clause. So we're just going to have to see what's going to happen on draft day, but I fully expect Deshaun Watson to be traded before the season. All right, let's move on. Brand 5257. on Twitter says, where do I get the Rooted gear? Hey, bro, let me know. For those who don't know, this is my company, Bay Area Rooted. A lot of people wear my clothes and swag. And so, yes, that's my other side business that I have aside from doing this. And it's really cool. I mean, if you guys watch me on Instagram, you guys know I always support my own clothing line. You guys see all the models that I have wearing the clothes. Obviously, we have some celebrities wearing it as well. A lot of the 49ers players wear it, and former 49ers players wear it, and they have gone on to play for other teams. So Bay Area Rooted, it's all about the lifestyle, which embodies our 6-point star, which is integrity, trust, loyalty, honor, unity, and respect. If you hold those 6 ideals, you're part of the Bay Area Rooted family. All right, let's keep going. You guys like that marketing tactic? There you go. See, product placement. Dude, sounds smart. Yo, I'm smart. All right. Alex Faulkner says, if William walks, who do you think would be the best realistic available option at left tackle? Great question. Great question. That is a good question. What about moving Brunskill to the left side? Could he play left tackle? You have to give him an opportunity to win that job, right? He played the piano along the line early stages of his career. So can he kick out and be the blindside left tackle? I think that's something that we have to consider. Now, before you delve outside, let's see what we have in-house. Let's see what we got going on in-house internally before we go ahead and say, hey, we have to make a play for a left tackle, right? So it's going to be interesting, Alex. But yeah, I would say, why not try Brunskill? All right. Trent Williams around. I don't know if I say Trent Williams, but I think the 49ers are one quarterback. Oh, we already went through this. Hold on. I'm catching back on this. All right. JD Hawk Hater TV says, thoughts on the report from Greg A. Bedard about Jimmy G being the Patriots plan A. Well, JD, if you follow my podcast, but no, JD's awesome. If you don't follow him on YouTube, go ahead and do that. JD's great with this stuff. JD, I'm going to plug you here, buddy. Subscribe to him right now. Like, subscribe to my boy JD on YouTube. Has a lot of great information. But getting back to your question, JD, I already put an earlier podcast on this. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go back to Bill Belichick for a day 2 pick. The reason why I put up a podcast is because my sources, no, I'm joking. There's a joke behind my sources, but gosh, that's just another story. Anyways, in all honesty, yes, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to ultimately get traded. Now, whether that's to the New England Patriots or somewhere else, if the opportunity arises where the 49ers get a quarterback in return, they're going to wipe their hands clean on Jimmy G. Trust me on this. Now, the question remains to be seen where that landing spot is. I said Jimmy Garoppolo's best trade value is with the New England Patriots. I'll put up a podcast on that. Let me make a note of this because people are going to be asking me, like my other live streams, where is that podcast? Where is that podcast? That's why you guys need to follow me on YouTube because, again, all my YouTube receipts are there. If you guys notice, I just repost my YouTube stuff on Twitter anyways. YouTube's the way to go. I am telling you, that is the future, at least for the BEASTwriter family, where social media engagement is encouraged without the trolls sniping in and acting like they are hot shots, because really they're not. All right, let's move on. James Forrester from YouTube. Another one of my YouTube guys. All right, wasn't their offensive line ranked 9th by PFF? If you guys know, I don't trust PFF. I have my own grading system. I don't care what PFF says. I have my own grading system. You guys all know how I run my grades. It's all up there in my YouTube and Twitter receipts. I have to. I have voting rights for the Pro Football Writers Association. I got to make sure my game is strong when it comes to voting for the All-Pros. All right. James Forster, yo, when can we send you highlighted questions for money? Once I start monetizing, bro. So right now, I am doing this all for free. There is not a penny going in my pocket. I'm doing this because I'm passionate about my work. I believe in what I'm doing here, and I'm very dedicated to the grind. This is the best part about anyone who wants to get in the NFL media. Take it from me. I started from 0 fans to 230,000 fans on Facebook. I grew my channel to where I was making spot-on predictions and analysis, predicting things before it happened in a saturated market. You guys all know this backstory. Voted 2013 by NBC Bay Area News as the top Bay Area blogger, right? How did I get there? It wasn't by accident, but at the end of the day, you got to keep grinding. I'm not making a single freaking penny. Ever since I started this podcast, I haven't made a freaking penny, which is fine because I know it's going to happen. Look at the interaction I'm getting right now. The first few months, I was getting absolutely nothing. It was like pulling teeth to have people follow me. Hey, bro, Scott. Nope. It wasn't cool until somebody chimed in, and now it's rolling through, which is fine, but that's how it's always been, right? So anybody who wants to break into the NFL media or any job opportunity or any career path that you want to take, the best advice I can give you is based on the 3Ds. See, this is the BEASTwriter family. I'm giving you free advice here. Take it for what it's worth. Discipline, dedication, and determination. If you have the 3Ds and you live by those 3Ds, you will be successful in life. Forget the haters. They can swipe left. They're not going to stop your shine from moving forward. All right? You guys got to stay consistent in whatever it is you're trying to do and silence the haters with your grind. That's how you do it. You just silence the haters with your grind. Let your work be your noise. All right? Let your work be your noise. Let them hate, because if they weren't hating in the first place, then they'd have nothing to hate on, because obviously if you weren't bad, if you were bad at your job, they wouldn't care. But the fact that you're good at your job means they care. That's why they're responding to you. So yes, I cannot wait till I monetize this thing. That's why I need all you guys to subscribe to my channel and watch all my videos. We're almost there. And pretty sure by the end of probably this month, I'll be able to monetize. But again, that's all up to you guys. So share my content, share my videos, retweet all my stuff. Get the BEASTwriter family growing, and we will grow this beast like no other on YouTube. I'm telling you, it's going to go viral. I am telling you. What's today's date? March 6th? March 6th. Mark it down. Watch where we are in a year from now. I'm telling you. Save this conversation. Go ahead and do it. All right. Alex Faulkner says, Matt Mayoko thinks the 49ers offensive line does not need to change, assuming Williams signs with us again. Matt Mayoko thinks the 49ers offensive line does not need to change, assuming Williams signs with us again. Yeah, that's pretty much fair. I'm not going to disagree with Matt Mayoko. I would say there's some changes that need to be made, although the right side is shaky. In the interim, it's not going to change. Because why? Because right tackle Mike McGlinchey is still on a rookie deal, who is a 2018 first-round pick, drafted 9 overall. By getting rid of Mike McGlinchey, you're basically telling the world that you made a mistake as a first-round bust again, like you did the year prior with Solomon Thomas back in 2017 when you didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So I would say right side needs help. Right side needs help. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, are they going to make that play? Because they don't want us in the media, oh man, they didn't pick up Mike McGlinchey's 5th-year option. Then what's going to happen? It's a domino effect. We all know what's going to happen. We all know what the talk is about. And that's where we are. All right. John Lapadora says, we need to dump Garoppolo and sign our free agent, Darnold Mac Jones. Yeah. I mean, I think Sam Darnold would be a smart play. Sam Darnold would be a cheaper alternative than delving and reaching for need in the draft, like Mel Kiper suggests, and get Mac Jones. Although I don't think Mac Jones is a reach at 12. I think that'd be a logical scenario playing out. However, especially the reason why Mel Kiper, and I love mock draft. You guys know that draft time is my season. Like draft time is BEASTwriter family season. You know what I'm saying? So at 12, I'm doing this off the top of my head, but at 12, you look at the needs that the Niners have. Then you look at 3 picks later, you have the New England Patriots, who set at number 15. Well, if you connect the dots, Bill Belichick is very good friends with Nick Saban. How do I know that? Well, everyone knows that. All right. Furthermore, Nick Saban will always give honest advice if you, as an NFL coach or an NFL scout, go up to him and say, hey, what do you think of Jonah Williams? Hey, what do you think of Mac Jones? Hey, what do you think of Najee Harris? He will give you honest feedback, but there always comes with a but. He's good at this, but he's good at this, but why does he do that? He'll give you honest feedback because at the end of the day, his buts are never wrong. His analysis is always on point. It's surprising, and he said this on TV. I think it was called The Art of Coaching with Bill Belichick. I think that's the name of the segment, where he said that he was surprised that not many coaches ask him about certain players, and then they draft these players, and then they wonder what happened. Like, where did that come from? Where did that red flag come from? It's like, dude, if you're an NFL scout or a GM or a director of college scouting or a vice president of player personnel, the best thing to do is get to know the player. How better to do that than to ask the head coach of this college football team, ask the positional coach, talk to the water boys, see how he relates to them, talk to the training staff, talk to his professors, go back to high school, cross-check what he has been doing in high school, and if that confirms in college and how that's going to relate at the NFL level. This is what you do. Talk to the high school counselor, talk to the college counselor, check your references. This is what scouts do. Not too many people know this, but that's how it works. You want to dig deep into a player so that you relieve any red flags or any doubt in your mind before you draft a player, which is why when the 49ers got Rashard Robinson out at LSU, they, I believe, if I remember correctly, brought the pastor in and tried to see what was up with Rashard Robinson because he had a lot of off-field issues, right? All right, let's move on. Good information, right? All right, Jerry Yang. We're working on changing the show to Tang and Yang soon. Twitter polls are up. Vote on that. All right, see? This is how marketing works. All right, man. If you guys make it big, you can thank me later. No, I'm joking. Jerry Yang and Mike Tang, the Tang and Yang show. Go follow them on Twitter. They have a pull up and see what they had to say as far as the results. It's going to get interesting, guys. My man, JP, he is a Arizona Cardinals fan, like my boy 704 Bound Charlotte, who's a Carolina Panthers fan, and he asked on YouTube, B-Dub, Travis Etienne said he would love to be with the Cards. Any news about the cap? I hear it could be as high as 193. No, I haven't heard anything about the cap, but Travis Etienne at number 16 does make sense because that's where I have the first running back coming off the board, whether it be Najee Harris or whether it be Travis Etienne. Pick your poison. I also like some of these other running backs, mainly Javonte Williams from North Carolina. I think he's going to be a stud, and he might be a sleeper in maybe a day 2 selection. But don't be surprised if the first running back falls off the board at number 15 to the New England Patriots. Why? I just pointed out earlier that Najee Harris is from Alabama. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are very close friends. They like this, bro. So Najee Harris, to me, is a very underrated player. He's going to shoot up draft boards once his pro day is done. I already brought up the measurables. I talked about this on an earlier podcast. I'm forward thinking. I'm already 3-4 weeks ahead. My podcasts are still live. Go ahead and check out those podcasts in real time, and how they relate in hindsight. All right, let's move on. Kim Ferrison from YouTube. Again, see, this YouTube is where it's at. I'm telling you guys, YouTube is where it's at. Kim Ferrison. Again, Kim Ferrison was recruited by Hofstra. We talk about this. This is my Hofstra boy. He says, what's good, my G? I like JV. JV meaning Jason Verrett and Kyle Juszczyk. Again, I stated this on an earlier podcast. Type in, who do you want, JV, for those two players or Trent Williams, TW. All right, and he said, but they need to do something with Fred first. Yes, absolutely. There's a reason why Fred Warner, and there's a reason why I broke news on Fred Warner November 3rd on my YouTube podcast. Check those receipts. I actually have a timeline of events so you guys can kind of see how everything has transpired up to this point. And there's a reason why Fred Warner is not getting re-signed. Now, I already talked about this on a live stream yesterday, but getting back to Fred Warner, it's interesting how they're playing this waiting game and dragging their feet. It's interesting. Fred Warner needs to be re-signed. What else does he have to prove? He's already proved it, and you guys been getting him at a discounted rate, and that's being nice about it. For the better half of 2 years, again, he was outplaying Bobby Wagner, who was making $18 million per year annually. And despite Fred Warner playing on a rookie contract, outplaying Bobby Wagner, who's the highest paid middle linebacker, getting paid less than $1 million. You do the math. That's $17 million overdue times 2 in front-loaded money. Now you're looking at $34 million in front-loaded money already due for Fred Warner, and you still don't re-sign him right now? Bro, you must be playing yourself. Swipe left, bro. Let's move on. All right. Stop it. Your secret is your Asian. John said, because of my genes, because yes, but we also get the Asian glow, bro. One drink and your boy is red like a tomato face. I'm just saying. True story, bro. All right. Irvin said, you have a point, but I think with a competent quarterback that knows how to read defenses, a quarterback that isn't scared to play, that can throw and stay healthy, it might not solve, but makes life easier. Very true from YouTube. My boy Alex Faulkner asks, what's your opinion on Fitzpatrick and a rookie like Fields Jones sitting behind him as the quarterback room for the Niners in 2020? 2021. I like this idea. Think about it logically for a second. If you're in the quarterback room, you remove Jimmy Garoppolo, you get a day 2 pick in return. Now you have somewhat of a draft flexibility there. You got to actually regain capital from those Trent Williams and Emmanuel Sanders deals, which is why John Lynch traded back from 13 to number 14. And instead of getting Tristan Wirfs at 13, needed to recoup draft capital from trading Emmanuel Sanders. That's why he made that deal and missed out on a blindside left tackle. And now we're talking about what? A blindside left tackle. Come on, bro. But getting back to Alex Faulkner's question, I like Fitzpatrick or Fitzmagic. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick because his name is awesome. Who doesn't like Ryan's? I'm joking. No, he would be a great fit. I think he would be able to tutor and mentor the younger guy behind him, whether that be Mac Jones, Justin Fields, or whoever the quarterback is of the future. And of course, didn't he come from Harvard? He's also very bright. So he's going to play this game how he sees fit. And if that is in San Francisco as a stopgap, bridge gap quarterback, don't be surprised if he pulls out these wins, because Ryan Fitzpatrick I like him. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think you can win with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, is he better than Jimmy Garoppolo? Absolutely not. Give me Jimmy Garoppolo or Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let's stop the talk there. But it does make sense. All right, let's move on. Kim Ferrison, Beast, what's good, my G? What is up, Kim? He said, we should resign JV, but first got to do something, Fred, maybe. Yes, we do. We do got to do something, Fred Warner, man, because if we don't, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. All right, Lisa Francis Orona Forns from Facebook says, we can't lose Juice. Yep, definitely can't lose Juice. JD Hawkader says, I appreciate you too, bro. Anytime you want to come on my show, let's do it. We will cross-promote the heck out of it because that's what it's all about, and that's what the BEASTwriter family is all about. It's about raising each other up. We don't need them haters. Haters going to hate regardless. Let them hate. We're going to shine, bro. We're going to shine. All right, let's move on. James Ford says, true. He don't like PFF. I don't like it. I'm not throwing, dude, the grades were ridiculous. There's a reason why Tyrann Mathieu liked my tweet when I voted him from PFWA All-Pro team. And in my grading system, he was ranked high because he referred back to a, oh my gosh. Again, if you check my Twitter receipts, it's on point where PFF had him graded, I think 67. And I was like, bro, how is he ranked 67? And my grading system, he's ranked number 1. So it's crazy how people just rely on PFFF without doing the legwork on doing and running these grades. Now, I don't blame them because they don't know what to look for on a dang play. So how can you criticize a player when you don't know what to look for on a single play? Like, how can you say someone's good if you don't even know how to dissect a play? Where he's playing the splits, what technique the defensive lineman is playing in his leverage, leveraging his technique. Are they supposed to gap that way? On the offensive side of the ball, was that supposed to be a reach block? Was that guy supposed to pull on that missed assignment? What happened there? What allowed that running back to make that cutback run? Where did the missed tackles happen? What happened on the second level and on the third level? Who missed that coverage assignment? I don't go by nearest defender. No, I go by the coverage shell that defensive back is in. Ultimately, the nearest defender doesn't mean much because what if you're a safety and you're just providing help trying to reach the other side of the field because that guy got burned and he was the nearest defender? Does that make him liable for that pass play? No, absolutely not. Swipe left. Let's move on. All right. Here we go. As I said, let's talk about 49ers. Let's do it. I'm down. Bay Area baller. Fire. Yup. We're keeping it lit, bro. We're keeping this lit. All right. Gavin Upright Cartwright from YouTube. Again, if you don't follow me on YouTube, go ahead and do it. Just go to YouTube, search BEASTwriter. There is a channel button that you can subscribe on. Do yourself a favor. Turn on the bell notifications once you do that, and you will be notified when I go live or when I upload content as of right now. All right. He says, bit late to the party. Did you prioritize Trent or Juice and Verrett? I'd take Juice and Verrett for sure. Juice would probably take a pay cut to stay. Yes, I did. And my take is you resign Jason Verrett, a boundary cornerback who understands the system, someone who can mentor the younger guys, because again, Richard Sherman's not there, so you're going to need a defensive leader in that backfield. Jaquaski Tart is not returning. You have Jimmy Ward there, but you're going to need more enforcements, especially in that locker room dynamic. So with that being said, I believe that Jason Verrett should be resigned, and then you roll over to the offense side of the football field. You have Kyle Juszczyk, who's very good in situational football and goal line situations. So even though he acts as a decoy, You have to account for him on every snap because you never know when Kyle Shanahan's going to incorporate him into the game plan. All right, let's move on. Whew. All right, Niners all day. See, I can talk about this all day. If it's not Niners, we can talk about other teams too. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, Niners all day. I think we trade back to 14 or so and draft Najee Harris. Yes, my draft crush Najee Harris. He's Bay Area rooted. You know what I'm saying? Najee Harris is the real deal. Anybody who says otherwise, I don't know, man. I don't know what you guys are watching. I don't know what game film you were watching. Tell me what Najee Harris can't do, and I'll tell you 1,000 things he can do. All right? All right. Zach, my man from Twitter, and he's on YouTube now. He reached out to me earlier today on my earlier podcast. What is going on, bro? How you doing? You know I'm not on Twitter much anymore, and it's all about YouTube vibes. So thank you for joining the BEASTwriter family. Let's grow this BEASTwriter YouTube channel. All right. Roberto Hastings from YouTube says, sup, dude? First time here. Thanks for having me here. Thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, Roberto. Always good to introduce my new BEASTwriter family. Obviously, Roberto is one of them. Again, in the social media engagement platform, YouTube is honestly the way to go. You cannot go away from YouTube. YouTube is the answer. Everybody's probably watching this right now. Twitter's probably looking at this right now, but like, oh my gosh, he's cross-promoting us. I don't care. YouTube is the answer, bro. I'm telling you, YouTube is the way to go. The BEASTwriter family is growing, and I just don't have Niner fans on there, and that's the way I want to build up my brand. The BEASTwriter family, I want all 32 fan bases coming together as one because we are all about what? Good vibes only. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Irvin says, Beast, have you seen film on running back Kenneth Gainwell? Reminds me of Debo, his style, and he lines up as a wide receiver. Great hands. No, I have not done research on him. Now I am. All right. Jerry Yang says, I think we're all too hard on McGlinchey. He played 1,091 snaps and allowed 5 sacks. That's 12th in the league. Not bad considering how bad our center position was. Just came at bad times. I literally just thought it said just carne asada at bad times. Man, I must be hungry. I just finished working out, guys, so bear with me for a second. As you can see, I am tired, as I said earlier. So, yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess we are a little bit hard on Mike McGlinchey, but at the end of the day, no, we're not. No, we're not. I don't think so. All right. Kevin Jeter says, from YouTube, that's why Kittle got signed, because he's pretty much an extra offensive tackle, not because of his receiving, in my opinion. With Kittle on the field, and all our O-line is good. Without him, it's horrible. Yes, great point. Great point. He's a great inline blocker. I would argue he's up there with tight end Brent Jones. For those who don't know who Brent Jones is, look him up. He was one of the most underrated San Francisco 49ers during his tenure in San Francisco. Wore number 84. And if you want to talk about a tough tight end and a fan favorite and a crowd pleaser, Brent Jones was that guy. Brent Jones was awesome. Who doesn't like Brent Jones? If you don't like Brent Jones, let's have a debate about that. Brent Jones was freaking awesome, man. All right. Doug Yamamoto says from YouTube, hey, Doug, thank you for joining the family. I know I have yet to talk to you yet because I answer all my fans' questions. Yes, that's how I do it in the BEASTwriter family. I engage with every single person. So if there's like 40, 50, 60 comments, I answer all 40, 50, 60 people because you guys are engaging with me. I want to be able to give back. I mean, if you're taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch this live stream, why wouldn't I answer your questions? That'd be like a douchebag of me. Like, I'm not like that, bro. So thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the BEASTwriter family. Let's get to your question. Love your dope tank top. Thank you so much. I don't have guns like you. Send the link where I can buy it. Gambarol. That's what's up. Okay. So unfortunately, this is my buddy's t-shirt. He made it. I'm just supporting him. Unfortunately, it went under during COVID, so he is out of business. However, we are going to launch and rebrand some of the stuff, so stay tuned for that. We have a lot of Japanese American concepts, and especially in times like these, I think it's a good way for us to kind of grow and just try to build up the Asian community with all that's going on. I haven't touched base and talked about that on social media much, and that's because there's a lot of stuff that we're doing behind the scenes, and I will be more vocal about it, but I have a lot going on, and I will do that. So stay tuned for that. We have a big project coming up. Bay Area is all about it and all about building up the community. whether it be Asian community, the Black community, what doesn't matter. We're all about good vibes only, and that's what we're trying to build in the BEASTwriter family. So stay tuned for that, man. But thank you. I will let them know. All right. Mara Lee says, Jerry Ann, what is your Twitter? Jerry Ann, plug your Twitter, bro, so people can know where to find you. All right. Alex Faulkner says, what position do you think Kyle and John target in the first round based off their history? Yes, based on their history. All right. Let me go ahead and pull it up for you guys. And what he has done in the first few rounds, dating back to 2017. Yes, I have the answers. No, I'm joking. I don't have the answers. That's why you guys are here. So if I don't have the answers, you guys better have the answers, because your boy doesn't have all the answers. And we're always constantly growing and always constantly learning. All right. So in the first round, what I think is actually going to happen, I think they're going to roll cornerback. I think they're going to go cornerback or quarterback. Say that 3 times fast. Quarterback or cornerback. Yes. Why? Because obviously John Lynch knows that he needs someone there in case Jimmy Garoppolo goes down. He already admitted to that and alluded to that in earlier interviews. But at the same time, and the flip side of that, if you don't re-sign Jason Verrett, who's going to play cornerback? You're already lost Richard Sherman, so that's both starters going down. So who do you have left? You know, Emmanuel Mosley, of course, we don't know what's going on with Ahkello Witherspoon, but you need more than that, right? You would think. So I think they would reach for a cornerback like Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. Ooh, people saying, oh, that's not a reach. Well, if you date back to my Twitter receipts, I said that Justin Gilbert was a reach back in 2014, and I actually said Kyle Fuller and Jason Verrett were better players. Fast forward to today, boom, that aged well. All right, let's move on. What do you think of Kyle Trask? I don't like Kyle Trask. I know a lot of people do like Kyle Trask. I just don't like Kyle Trask. I already discussed about that and talked about that on an earlier podcast. I just don't see enough consistency in his play. I'd rather go with Mac Jones over Kyle Trask. That's just my honest opinion. All right. Sanjo Sunny says, how about we trade Jimmy Garoppolo and sign Cam Newton and draft a quarterback? What do you think? Ooh, Sanjo Sunny, again, one of my loyal followers on YouTube. He says and thinks that the 49ers should go after Cam Newton. I don't like that play. I think Cam Newton is well past his prime. If Bill Belichick can't get the best out of Cam Newton and he's willing to wipe his hands clean, I think he's done. I don't see him actually doing anything special. Now, you will get a solid quarterback, but at the end of the day, are you getting that 24-14 or 24-15 MVP type of a season? Those fantasy stud stat lines that we all have been accustomed to over the course of his early careers coming out of Auburn? No, I don't think so. All right. Gavin Upright Cartwright says, whoa. Fitzmagic. Yes, Fitzmagic. All right. All right, let's move on here. How do you feel? Roberto from YouTube says, how do you feel about the Niners hiring an OC this year? Will Kyle still call the plays? Yes, Kyle will still call the plays because ultimately he likes the control. Just like he likes the control when it comes to making management decisions. He always has an input. So, of course, you think Kyle Shanahan would be willing to give up the control? No, he likes the control. It's just a title, right? It was just the title. Ultimately, who's going to hold that play card? Kyle Shanahan. Who's going to be like this with the play card? Kyle Shanahan. So at the end of the day, it's still Kyle Shanahan's offense. He is going to want to make the call at the end of the game. All right. Let's move on. We have a lot of questions from YouTube. Michael. I just picked up Michael as part of the BEASTwriter family yesterday. Again, how do I know this? I respond to everyone. Yes, I respond to everyone. All 1,000 of you. All right. He says, Fred Warner is a must. You do not give up your best player. That is also the quarterback of the D, setting the plan, the play calls, I think. I think he meant to say play calls, obviously, and setting the tone. No-brainer to me after some G. Yes. It's a no-brainer that you re-sign Fred Warner. Why is it taking so long? You guys know what Fred Warner brings to the table. So why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Should not take this long. All right. Yep. He's mad that they let Defoe go. DeForest Buckner, right? We all are. All right. Hey, Ryan, are you still writing for the Steelers? No, I am not writing for the Steelers. Technically, I'm still with them, but I'm not writing as much. Why? Because I started this YouTube podcast and I can't do all these different outlets. I'm spreading myself too thin. Of course, I'm Bay rooted. I personal train and online coach as well. And I'm trying to get my fitness grinded as I'm shooting for my pro card. So that's also a 9-to-5 job. So when you have 3, 4, 9-to-5 jobs, you're spreading yourself too thin. You got to cut back somewhere. Ultimately, I just dissected to this. My YouTube podcast is my number one priority right now. Second is my bodybuilding as I shoot for my pro card. Once COVID opened up, we were able to get back in the gym. So I'm back in the gym. This is my first week. And of course, keeping up with Bay Area rooted. So I have a lot of things on my plate. But ultimately, if the right opportunity comes along, of course, I would look into it. But I've been getting offers, 3 or 4 offers in the past, I would say last month. And I'm still debating on what to do because, again, I have to fit it into my schedule. And I can't be in all those places. If the money's there, I'll go to where the money is. But right now, the money is right here at YouTube when I'm not making a penny because I know where the growth is going. All right, let's go on. Will the 49ers first ever win the Super Bowl while Jed York owns us? Yes. Will the 49ers should win a Super Bowl with Jed York as an owner. I don't think Jed York is the problem. Jed York is not the problem. Now, a lot of people don't like Jed York, but ultimately, he's not the one on the field making the plays. He's not the coaches calling the plays. So he basically has no input in what actually goes on in personnel matters. So whether Jed York's the owner or the president or whatever the case may be, yeah, they can obviously win a Super Bowl with Jed York as the owner or whatever title he's in. All right. Niners all day. Do you think we will trade back or trade up? I think ultimately you will trade back or, well, it's a 2-part question. If they trade up, they're going to get a quarterback. If they trade back, they're going to get a guy like Najee Harris or maybe cornerback J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. I think those are the 2 plays there. I don't think they're going to reach for an offensive lineman. If they do, I'd be shockingly surprised simply because they'll be reaching for need, diminishing the value of the pick. So there's your answer there. All right, let's move on. We are an hour into this. I was planning on leaving and eating dinner. Gosh, guys. Didn't even have my post-workout meal yet. But let me get some water. I'm joking with you guys. I love it. Your boy is not going anywhere. See, this is Bay Area. Look at this logo. Isn't it dope? Bay Area, if you guys can see that. Look at that. Bay Area rooted logo. Look at that. And then we also have the lifestyle logo. Look at that. That's swaggy, bro. All right. I designed it myself. Yes, people are asking me, bro, that's dope. Where I can get that? All right, let's move on. What is your thoughts on Trey Boston? Yes, Trey Boston. You must be a Carolina Panthers fan. I am Fake Jesus. Thank you for tuning in from YouTube. And Trey Boston was just released by the Carolina Panthers earlier in the week, I believe. And the reason for that, before I touch base on where he might go, I don't like Trey Boston. But the reason why the team released him was simple. Jeremy Chin was playing the Sam linebacker position, but also playing movable parts. He would play strong safety. He would play boundary cornerback. He would move into the slot. So Jeremy Chin was actually the chess piece in Phil Snow's defense in Carolina. What happened was once they released Trey Boston, that leaves some draft flexibility on what the Carolina Panthers are going to do at number 8. Why? Simply because there's moving parts. If you're GM Scott Fitter, who just rolled in as the team's new GM, your job is to improve the roster any which way you can, and then you look at the NFL draft and before that, free agency. So by releasing Trey Boston, you can then roll over Jeremy Chin into the free safety position or strong safety position, whatever the case may be, right? Because you can play multiple different roles. And then at Sam linebacker, you're sitting there number 8. You can then take Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, which I wrote in an earlier podcast before the release of Trey Boston. I already pointed that out. So my Twitter receipt and YouTube receipts are coming true. That Carolina Panthers might roll with Micah Parsons out of Penn State, who opted out of the 2020 season. Why? Most people believe he's a Mike linebacker, an inside 4-3 base Mike linebacker. My opinion, I think he's better at the Sam linebacker position because he's more of a sideline to sideline type of a presence. He brings that edge rushing presence as well. So he also played as an edge rusher back in high school. So when you put that into account, again, and take it a step further, really peeling back the layers of the onion to really get to the core, you have to say to yourself, what actually is the reason for releasing Trey Boston other than he sucked last year? That's where I see the Carolina Panthers going toward. They're going to go defensive side of the football. I think that player is ultimately going to be the best middle linebacker, or excuse me, the best linebacker in the draft in Micah Parsons, or they're going to roll with Patrick Surtain Jr., my CB1 from Alabama. All right, let's move on. Do you like Trey Lance? Personally, I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't like Trey Lance. I think he has the measurables in terms of his potential. Obviously, he has a high ceiling, but I don't like Trey Lance. Niners all day from YouTube. All right, I'm getting all this from YouTube. Look at another one from YouTube, but it's the same guy. Yeah. Oh, can't have a high ceiling though. See, said the same thing as me. All right, let's move on. Irvin from YouTube says, "What's your opinion on DeMeco Ryans being a defensive coordinator?" Great question, Irvin. I already spoke about this once the move was made, that I believe that DeMeco Ryans would be a great defensive coordinator. However, with that being said, there is some type of an adjustment period because obviously his scheme is going to be a little bit different in what he teaches his players as terms of techniques wise. Down and distance, situational football, those things are going to be minor, but those are going to be changes, right? And obviously you have a different personnel grouping that you're working with this year as opposed to last year. We still don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these moving parts. We don't know if Eric Armstead is going to be kicked inside from his defensive end position to team up with Javon Kinlaw because Edge Nick Bosa is coming back. So again, there's a lot of moving parts there, and we just don't know how everything's going to play out. Are they going to be as good without Robert Saleh there? No. Absolutely not. Robert Saleh was the leader. He was on them that called the plays, got his team excited, was going like this, like, yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. Right? I'm not saying DeMeco Ryans can't do that because obviously he was one of the best of the game when he played, also out of Alabama. But yeah, getting back to your question, there is going to be some kind of adjustment period. I already put up an earlier podcast on that. Let's just make a note here, because obviously you guys are going to want to say, what are you talking about? What podcast? So again, that's why you follow me on YouTube. Turn on and flip on the bell notification. Subscribe to my channel, and you will know what I'm talking about. In the lower right-hand corner of your screen, there's a red box there all the time. Just click on that, and you can subscribe to my channel. Obviously, you need a YouTube account, just like you need a Twitter account, and follow me there. All right. Are there any offensive linemen in free agency that the 49ers should get? 49ers Ultimate Report from YouTube. Yes, there is a free agent that's going to be on the market, in my opinion, and that guy's name is right tackle Mitchell Schwartz from the Kansas City Chiefs. And people are saying, well, no, that's not, he's under contract. Look at their cap situation. Furthermore, he might be a cap cut. So if he's on the open market, would you go after a guy like Mitchell Schwartz? I like Mitchell Schwartz. I said in my YouTube Twitter receipts that the Niners should have got him a long time ago when he was a free agent the first time. They didn't. So, yeah, I like Mitchell Schwartz. I think he might be available, and he would be a smart play for the 49ers to go ahead and target as opposed to getting someone in the draft. All right, let's move on. Aaron Noble from Facebook says, 49ers can't overpay for a fullback. Makes no sense. Well, what do you consider overpaying for a fullback? What is that value? So you say don't want to overpay. What's that asking price? Because I'd be quick to argue that paying a guy $5 to $6 million and then rolling over and looking at Jason Verrett's contract annual per year is a much viable and much serviceable play than going after Trent Williams and giving up more money than you really should based on his value, because you're going to have to be in a bidding war for his services. That's just my opinion. All right. Sean Allen Lewis from Twitter says, Beast, do you think Shanny would really want Sam Darnold? Yeah. Why wouldn't he? If you look at Sam Darnold and the critical factors, and I always talk about the critical factors because you want to see what he can do, not necessarily what he can't do, because things he can't do can be coached up based on the coaching staff. But getting back to Sam Darnold, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You go after a play like Sam Darnold. Why would you not? He's young. He can make all the throws. Mel Kiper. Everyone hates on Mel Kiper so much because, he gets it wrong. Well, there's a reason why Mel Kiper's on ESPN and we're not. There's a reason why Todd McShay is on ESPN and we're not. Why does Mel Kiper get so much heat, but yet everyone goes to see what Mel Kiper has to say? I don't know. I just think it's nuts. But I'm going off topic here, but I just think it's funny. It's like, okay, if you think it's easy, then why don't you do it? Then you go work for ESPN. Then you go work for NFL Network. Oh, I will. Okay, no, you're still in the same spot, bro. So what are you talking about? All right, anyways, yes, And plain and simple, yes, Sam Darnold to the 49ers does make sense. I'll even put up a podcast on that. Again, I have to make a note of this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's still live. I put that up like 3-4 weeks ago. No, it might be a month ago. But everything I said in there still holds true. The Twitter receipt and YouTube receipt on that is still strong. All right, let's go. Jamal from YouTube says, who do you think will be a better pro, J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain? Wow, that's a loaded question, man. Well, both are legacies, right? What do you mean by legacies? Well, if you watched my earlier podcast, you know that J.C. Horn's father is Joe Horn, who played for the New Orleans Saints, and Patrick Surtain Jr.'s father is Patrick Surtain Sr., who played for the Miami Dolphins alongside Sam Madison during the late 90s and early 2000s, along with Aaron Taylor and Zach Thomas. So with that being said, you really want to peel back layers of the onion to really get to the core. I think Patrick Surtain is the most fundamentally sound coming out since Ahmed Plummer back in 2000 from the Ohio State University, drafted by the 49ers number 24 overall. Then you roll that over into J.C. Horn. Who is J.C. Horn? J.C. Horn to me is a player who has Pro Bowl potential. I see a Pro Bowl cornerback in J.C. Horn's game. Now, the problem with his game is consistency. But again, when you look at the critical factors, and if you're an NFL scout and you're an NFL coach, you're really looking at those critical factors and saying, well, what is he being taught in college? That technique is wrong, but if you look on the flip side of that, opposite side of the field, that other cornerback was also playing the same technique based on that down and distance. So maybe it's a coaching thing. See, I like J.C. Horn's game. Now, who's going to end up being the better pro? I ultimately think that guy is going to be Patrick Surtain Jr. He's my cornerback one and cornerback one for a reason. All right, let's move on. And I'm an Alabama fan, so how you can go wrong with that? All right. I am fake Jesus from Alabama says 49er for life, but live in Carolina. So you were close. Keep it up, brother. Yeah, see, I'm right there, man. I am right there. I love Carolina Panthers fans. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about you guys. Keep pounding. For those who don't know what's going on with the keep pounding, you look it up. I believe it was the Sam Mills thing that was going on. And Sam Mills, one of the best middle linebackers in the game for the Carolina Panthers. Man, Carolina Panthers were dope in the NFC West. They were the one team no one wanted to face in the NFC West. Like, they were good. Like, the Carolina Panthers and that Dom Capers, I mean, they were good, man. They had Kerry Collins. He was okay. Tim Biakapatuka. I like saying that. Tim Biakapatuka. Remember Tim Biakapatuka from Michigan? Dude, that guy was pretty good. And then not so good. And then good. Man, Tim Biakapatuka. Who remembers that guy? All right. If you could sign Juice to the perfect I can't remember. I'm remembering this. This is crazy. If you could sign Juice to the perfect contract right now, how much would it be and how many years? Great question. I think you would sign Kyle Juszczyk based on his age. I would sign him to a 3-4 year deal, just like you did back in 2017 when you signed him to a 4-year, $21 million contract and give a similar base structured deal. Now, it all depends what Kyle Juszczyk wants to do. Obviously, he wants to stay in San Francisco. He already built a strong foundational relationship within that locker room, within the players, and within coaching staff. So anytime he wants to make a switch, he's not stupid. He's coming from Harvard, right? So anytime you make a switch, is it really worth it for him to do that? You know, you got to think of it from a financial and a family standpoint. Man, the guy is already settled here in the Bay Area. Once you come to the Bay Area, you're not going to leave. That's Bay Area rooted. I'm joking. But no, honestly, why do people come in the Bay Area? Why? The weather is nice. He goes to like New York. The weather is cold. The weather is hot. I don't know, man. I just think he would be better suited to stay in San Francisco or Santa Clara, since basically they're in Santa Clara, and stay in-house. But as far as what the contract's going to look like, $5 to $6 million a year, 3 to 4 million, or 3 to 4 years is what I'm looking at. All right, Niners All Day from YouTube says, I know you love Harris, and so do I, but do you think Kyle will take him because it's not our most needed position? I'd be fine with it, though. Yeah, I want him to take him, but is he? Probably not. Like I said, he'll probably reach for Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech, or he'd probably take an offensive lineman, maybe Elijah Vera Tucker from USC. Again, all these linemen, in my opinion, are getting pushed up the board because the class is not as strong as in years past. Same thing with edge rusher. If you're looking for an edge rusher in this draft class, well, you're not going to find it. That's why when free agency opens up, I believe whenever that is, March 15th or 17th or whatever that date is, you're going to see a lot of these needs being filled in free agency because GMs know that the edge class is weak sauce. I mean, who do you guys got? You got guys like Carlos Basham, who's good, but is he great? I don't know. Gregory So, Jalen Phillips. Am I high on them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Zaven Collins is okay, but is he really a first-round grade, or is he just getting pushed up in the first round because there's nothing left there? I mean, in any given draft, where would these guys realistically be ranked? Right? My guy who I like is Quincy Roche from the University of Miami. I said it in my senior pre-bowl analysis that that's a guy to look for. Had a hell of a senior bowl weekend. And I think Quincy Roche is going to be the real deal. Now, time will tell how that plays out, but look out for Quincy Roche. He's a guy that could be a nice day 2 pick. All right, let's move on. Michael Hurst from YouTube says, do you have any inside info on how Bosa is progressing? Will he be 101% at season start, peaking at 100% mid to end season, as we all want him to? Well, getting back to your question, Michael from YouTube, thank you very much for your question. No, I have not heard any inside information. However, what I do know from who I talked to about Nick Bosa is he's going to have a breakout season. I think everyone's kind of down on him. I think he's using that as motivation. And when you're in trade discussions, all right, here's some insight. When you're in trade discussions, what's going to fuel you and what's going to fuel your drive for the ultimate comeback? This setback is just something for the comeback, right? And when it comes to Nick Bosa, he's going to put up double-digit sacks. He's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And all these rumors that we were talking about for Deshaun Watson, everyone's going to flip the page and act like it never happened. I'm telling you, Nick Bosa is the real deal. And anybody says you should trade Nick Bosa, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. That's my opinion. But again, when you get a top 5 franchise quarterback in return, it's hard to argue that, right? So that's a debate. It's a debate. All right, let's move on. All right, Jack from Twitter says, bro, word is Aaron Rodgers is coming to the 49ers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming to the 49ers. I think he's still bitter not being drafted by the 49ers. All right. Irvin says, I subscribed. That's what's up when you announced your podcast on Grant's podcast. Great show, Pimp. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know, me and Grant have a show called Two Bums in the Pod. I hit up Grant and I said, hey, man, he called us Two Bums in a Pod. I think that'd be a great name for our dual podcast. We've been talking about this. And he said, it's a great idea. So a lot of the times, if you talk about branding and marketing, all these people have the shows, but they have to come up with a catchy name. What's a catchy title? That's why I mentioned the Jerry Yang and Ting show, because I think that's catchy, right? Well, thanks to Eric Armstead, we made a play on what he called us. Like, he's the one that called us Two Bums in the Pod, Two Bums in the Podcast, right? So, but he called us Two Bums in the Pod. Why not make a podcast and call it Two Bums in the Pod? Makes sense to me, and it works. So how many podcasts can actually say a player is the one that gave him that nickname on that podcast? If you guys know the answer, drop your comments in the section below. All right, let's move on. 49ers Ultimate Report. I think Sam Darnold gets so much disrespect, but I think Sam can be a quarterback that Cal can give. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Irvin says the best quarterback pair ever, I think Madison and Surtain. Ooh. So he's talking about Patrick Surtain Sr. and Sam Madison. Those guys were absolute studs in the late 90s, early 2000s when you had and talked about shutdown cornerbacks. That was one of the better duos in the NFL. And I think at the time, I would argue that, wow, I mean, yeah, can you name a better cornerback duo in the NFL better than those two during that tenure? It's hard. It's hard to argue that because those guys were shutdown corners and people talked about their lack of height. They weren't 6 feet. They weren't 6 feet tall. They were like 5'10", listed 5'10", 5'11". So in today's NFL, it's funny because you look at the height, weight, speed, and how the game has transpired since Patrick Surtain's junior dad played. And oh, he has to be 6 foot. He has to be 6'1", 6'2". We need a bigger, stronger cornerback because if he's going to be matched up down inside the red zone, we need a guy who can high point the ball and make a play on the ball and possibly take it to the house the other way. Well, if you're playing with sound fundamentals and using the sideline as a friend, as an extra defender, while knowing where your help is on the backside, you can get away with the lack of height. So they did a really good job at that. And make quarterbacks play at the same time. All right. Kevin Down from YouTube says, sounds like a good t-shirt. Silence the haters with your grind. Yes, you got to silence the haters with your grind. Should I make a t-shirt on that? I don't know. There's a few ideas that I have going on with the BEASTwriter family as we work on those giveaways. But again, do me a solid. If you guys like my content, I need you guys' help and help spread the word so we can start monetizing this beast and really grow the BEASTwriter family. So anytime I post a podcast, retweet, share to all your family and friends, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram, it don't matter. That's all social media and all good vibes only. Bring them over here and we can have a healthy discussion on all things NFL. All right, let's move on. Oh, JP, Arizona Cardinals fan. My man JP from YouTube says, my favorite name is Chris Fuamatu Maifala. I don't even know how to say that. Yeah, that's a crazy name. Didn't he play fullback, if I'm not mistaken? Or what did he play, defensive line or fullback? He had to play one of those positions, right? I want to say fullback. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, Niners A. What do you think about Eric Stokes? He's a 61 corner and a run 4.25. He'd be a great lock up for DK. Measurables, yes. But when you look at on-field performance, I would say no. But who knows? I could be wrong. All right, let's move on. To answer your questions, I am Fake Jesus from YouTube says, let's say Jimmy is gone. We get Darnold on his 1-year rookie deal. What kind of contract would he deserve if he does better than Jimmy? Ooh. That's a good question. But ultimately, the first step in answering that question is, are they going to get Sam Darnold? I mean, that's the $1 million question that we have to ask ourselves first in order to move on to that next question. So it's all theoretic at this point. I mean, it's all hypothetical. We don't know what's going on in San Francisco land. So that's all I got to say with this. All right. Gavin from YouTube says, will Kyle Shanahan ever win a Super Bowl? I'm not one to say absolutes. I'm never going to say never. Like, this guy's never going to do this. This guy's never. Because when you do that, you put yourself at a disadvantage. So you want to always leave the door open to the possibility. Because if I just straight out and said never, Kyle Shanahan would be like, dude, what? What are you talking about, dude? Like, oh, do you know the next 10 years of my life? Right? So I will never say never. I think Kyle Shanahan can win the Super Bowl. If I was a betting man, I would say he would be in line to win a Super Bowl because he's that good. Ultimately, it hasn't been in his favor, but that's not to say that he won't get it done. So I'm very optimistic that Kyle Shanahan will win a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, he's very bright, one of the top offensive minds in the NFL, knows his stuff, and there's a reason why they got to the Super Bowl in 2019. All right, let's move on. Fortnite's Ultimate Report from YouTube says, I forgot to thank you for my channel shout. Hey, man, I'm all about it, man. All about the good vibes only. Again, we are trying to build the BEASTwriter family up organically. We don't need to advertise or anything like that. I'm not going to do any paid promotions or anything like that. We are just doing this organically. Again, I'm not making a penny, and I love doing it on my Saturday. We are now going on, hour and a half now on this live stream on a Saturday. So good times, man. It's all good times, man. Don't worry about it. It's good vibes only. See, fullback. See, from Pittsburgh Steelers. I knew it. Damn, I'm good. All right. Well, that'll be it for today. I hope you liked what I had to say. If you did, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. Also, thank you, everyone, for your love and support as we continue to grow the BEASTwriter family. Do me a solid. Again, I am not making a penny on this, but with your support, I can. So share all my content. Get the word out. I'm only one person. I can only be my own hype man. Obviously, if you find my content of value, odds are someone else does as well. All right. Have a happy Saturday. Be safe. BEASTwriter out. Peace.